Well, I just wanted to also bring up Arsenal. They've off to a fantastic start, but with a new manager. Now, we spoke to Unai Emery a few days ago, I believe it was on Wednesday, and he had a couple of comments to make about Arsenal under Wenger towards the end of last season, the last couple of years, let's put it that way. In recent years, the sensation was that there was a weaker mentality and that made them more fragile in terms of competing in the difficult moments. There were some very eye-catching spells of play, but also shortcomings when things got tough. That was the first step we wanted to take. Are we seeing that, do you feel?
Yeah, I feel this season that's the first thing we've seen from day one in pre-season. From what I've heard from the boys and people around the club, is just been completely changed compared to Arsene Wenger. The work, every single details, before every training session, all the boys just go to the gym. They've got all the personal guide to look after them, tell them what to do, that prevention work and all that kind of stuff that Arsene Wenger didn't really.
They didn't do that.
Well, he did, but not as detailed as they've got now. Now they really have pretty much one guy.
Jeremy, was it fair to say with Arsene that there's been a lot of criticism of him, which I think is unfair because he's one of the great managers of all time, arguably, certainly in the Premier League, that he was relaxed. But was that just his personality in giving players an opportunity to find their professionalism within themselves, rather than a Guardiola that's pulling you and pushing you every 5 minutes, or a Mourinho? He was just a different character.
Were you inspired?
I was, but I would say I was because of the players that I had around me in that dressing room that were there to basically do the hard work, being like Guardiola, be behind my back all the time, day in, day in training, do not rest any minute, every minute count, every detail count. And we had them players in there which, like you said, Arsene's character is completely different, so he was not behind you 24/7, but we had the players in that dressing room that were there behind you, like behind the young players, try to help you out in any way. And I think Unai Emery gave that to the team this season.
Well, in terms of that, what you're referring to during your time, you could also say there were remnants of the George Graham era as well. It wasn't so much Wenger, but the mentality of the more old school players.
Well, it was, and all them Tony Adams, Martin Keown, obviously, played on the rim, and that's how the old mentality, the old generation were, and that's why when I joined the club, I was like, coming from France, that was completely different, for me, but I just think these days, unless your manager's really behind you, you don't really get them type of guys, them type of characters in the dressing room that are behind you.
And arguably, I still think that you have to have that. It's interesting to see, for example, Gareth Southgate giving Fabian Delph the captain's armband. This was a player that didn't play very much for England in the World Cup, but he rewarded him for what he did in the dressing room, for pushing other players. Jeremy played with some incredible characters that demanded a lot of you in dressing rooms. At places like Liverpool, like people like John Barnes. At Nottingham Forest, people like Stuart Pearce. Yes, they're dying away a little bit, and they're being taken over by managers that are now very, very hands-on, which at the apex of that is a Pep Guardiola. But I still think in a dressing room, to win titles, to win trophies, you have to have them in there. And the teams, there's no coincidence, the teams have won the Premier League titles, or World Cups, or Champions Leagues. Think of Real Madrid, Sergio Aguero.
Yeah.
He would have rattled cages, even of players like Cristiano Ronaldo. So it's still very, very important.
Okay.